So the WNBPA have posted here, they have essentially asked for quite a few different things in the new CBA, but at least we now have numbers that the WNBPA are looking for, which is a good thing, which is genuinely a good thing. We have numbers. So according to this, the WNBA recently rejected a WNBPA proposal which players would receive 33% of total revenue for each year of the agreement. And we have to take into account that, again, the league owners and everyone only gets 42%, while they're responsible for pretty much the entirety of the operational costs. So, 33 divided by 42 equals is actually 80% of the actual revenue that goes towards the league. They're looking for basically 80%. That was never going to happen. It is what it is, but there's a number there. They've no longer are saying 50%. It says here, the WNBPA has proposed mandating teams carry 12 players at all times. Each team can currently carry a maximum of 12 players and a minimum of 11. The WNBPA is also proposing that teams be allowed to sign up to 2 additional development players who would receive a stipend and could appear in up to 10 games per season at a prorated minimum league salary before signing a rest of season contract. Developmental players will also receive full benefits. Completely reasonable. Completely reasonable. They're allowed, basically, you're allowed to have 2 development players. I think that there has to be a rule that if you are another team is allowed to sign a development player from your team for on a short-term deal. For example, like if you signed with the Indiana Fever on a development deal, but the Indiana Fever have no injuries, and there's another team that wants you, just like in the G League. Like if you're not on a 2-way, another team can go and get you. There has to be something, because obviously they're only getting a vet's minimum for a certain amount of games. But then if there's a team that wants them to play more, you probably can't really do that. But that's the thing where it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's just luck at a draw where you're kind of fucked. But I think with the whole hardship system and everything, I think it could be one of those things where players actively choose not to sign developmental contracts because they know where it's like, let's just say you only make the vet's minimum for a developmental contract on the 10 games that you play, up to the maximum of 10 games that you play, and you're just getting benefits in the meantime. Or you can bet on yourself and hope a team signs you to a vet, has the salary cap space, signed to a vet's minimum during the season, you've made 4 or 5 times more. There is a good chance of something like that. But yeah, it'll be an interesting one. And it says here, amid the league's recent expansion boom, the union is proposing increase in number of games to 48, while the league has 15, 16 or 17 teams. That would increase up to 50 games in an 8-team season per union's proposal. The league is proposing an option to play even more games in the union's proposal beginning in 2027. So I don't know how many games they think is going to be played. I genuinely don't. Like, do they plan that they're going to have a ridiculous 60 game schedule? But like, you have to end it, according to them, they have to end it by October the 31st. It has to end by October the 31st, and it has to start after the college season. So I don't know. The league, surely, for me, I think I wouldn't mind delaying it by a month. Like, it ends on November the 31st. Like, that's kind of like the end of the season. I don't mind like it going into December. I get it. Oh yeah, that's football season. But at the end of the day, they're not. They are and they aren't competing with each other. Like, you're competing with the NBA Cup more than anything. And like, the start of the NBA regular season isn't the biggest thing in the world. But like, the 33% says make it a profit-based system. It can never be a profit-based system, because if it's a profit-based system, then there's about 5 teams that matter. If you make it where players make money on their own likeness, if you go full profit-based system, it means the Indiana Fever, the Golden State Valkyries are probably the only teams that are ever going to make any money. Maybe the New York Liberty. And also, a profit-based system means you can just cook the books. Like, it means it's like going to Real Madrid in soccer back in the day in the Galacticos era, where it was like, you come here and you're going to make 100 times more in brand deals, and all the best players in the world just want to join the one team. And it becomes like soccer, which I don't hate it, but for an American sports league, to do that? I don't think so. I think American Sports League are very much salary cap system based league. They've earned more. 33% is never going to happen. Double digits is the most they could expect. Probably no more than 20%. I think 20%. 20% gives them like 40-something% of the revenue the league brings in, which is completely reasonable if the league starts bringing in, if in 3 years' time, the TV deal that's $2.2 billion shoots up. Because they're playing extra games, if that $200 million a year becomes $400 million a year. Them looking for 20% becomes completely reasonable, and I think they could get it. And that's my guess, is that obviously the league is trying to propose, I think the league is proposing like 10%, and the players want 33%. It's going to be somewhere in the middle. Like, it's going to be no more than 23, 24%, just based on the operating cost of the league and the deals they made with the devil in order to keep the league alive, the equity they gave up to keep the league alive. So it's never going to be really much higher than that. But I think 33 is a thing, and people are like, oh, now they asked for 30. I still don't think 30 is 30's it's not that it's reasonable. It's in between reasonable and possible. I don't think 30 is possible. I think that it's just a little bit too much money. A little bit too much for the owners to accept, and I just don't think they're going to do it. But I would say if you start to go a little bit, even just a little bit lower, I think somewhere between minimum 20, max 25 is what the league will have to accept, is what both parties will end up accepting. I think, look, everybody knows that like, if there's no WNBA season 2026, everything that everybody has been working towards is gone. It's over. Everything that people have been working towards is over if there's no season. If there's no season, it's like, you might as well cancel the league right now. Project B, Unrivaled, pull the funding before it starts, because if there's no WNBA, those leagues aren't going to ever make any money. Any investors in any of those leagues, pull your funding, because you're just burning that money. And get ready in 3 years, 4 years time, when a new startup league, get ready to fly commercial again. That's just the unfortunate thing about it. Get ready to fly commercial. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, it's an interesting one anyway, to think about. And look, I think we're probably close. To finding something out. I would say by the 1st of January, we'll have some form of a deal being made. But yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys.